My boyfriend got my little sister pregnant. Yeah, while we were dating. My little sister is 3 years younger than me, and we've always had a pretty tense relationship. And that's because she's always wanted to copy everything I do. And not just when she was really young, it still happens to this day. But she wasn't copying me in a way of like admiring me. She would copy me because she was in some kind of competition with me. Like whatever I did, she wanted to do it better. If I had an outfit, she wanted to wear the same one, but style it better. If I did an activity, she wanted to join the same one and be better at it than me. That's how it's been our entire life. And I very quickly noticed that when I started dating, she started flirting with all of my boyfriends, and not subtly. She'd be like, you know, imagine if we would have met first. Like, you probably would have been dating me. But obviously you can't because you're with my sister, but like, if you hadn't met her, right? That's weird. That's just so disrespectful. I would bring this up to her and tell her that it made me really uncomfortable and I thought that it was weird. She'd be like, oh my gosh, you're so dramatic. You're so jealous. And my parents would say the same thing. They're like, Kelsey, it's your little sister. What are you talking about? She's obviously joking. Sorry, I don't think that's funny. And I have a pretty good sense of humor, if I'm being honest. So it just got to the point that I stopped bringing the guys that I was dating around my family because it just wasn't worth the drama for me, which is really sad because I'm really close with my parents, but I knew that if we went to any family holidays, she was gonna be there and it was always gonna just start a fight. So I stayed away. Things changed when I started dating my most recent boyfriend because it started getting more serious. We were dating for over a year and I knew that I needed to bring him around my family because that's what you have to do. You know what I mean? Also, I stupidly thought that maybe somehow my sister had matured and wouldn't act up anymore, but I was wrong. The first time she met my boyfriend, one of the first things she said is she's like, oh my gosh, if Kels ever misbehaves or treats you wrong, just let me know. I'll fix it. I'll take care of it. Don't worry. I always have your back. I was like, this is weird. Like, this is just a weird conversation you're having. She was also just being really touchy with him, wanting to always sit by him, was grabbing his arm, laughing at all his jokes. She was flirting with him. Like, I know what flirting looks like, okay? And I know what her flirting looks like because she's my little sister and I've known her whole life. So I pull her aside and I'm like, yeah, we're not gonna do this, okay? We're not gonna continue to do this. I can't. I'm tired. You gotta just be normal and stop flirting with all my boyfriends. And again, she was like, oh my gosh, I did not realize how insecure you were. Like, it's actually really sad that I'm the younger sibling and I'm just so much more confident, so much more self-assured. Like, if you were acting like this with my boyfriends, I would not be upset at all. Okay, well, you've never had a boyfriend and there's a reason for that. I'm just gonna put that out there. About a month after this initial meeting, my little sister calls me and tells me that she has amazing news and that she's actually gonna be moving states and moving to the city that my boyfriend and I live in. Great. I was so excited for that. And not only was she moving to our city, she was going to move into the same apartment complex that we lived in. Even better for me. So she moves to our city, moves into our apartment complex, and suddenly she needs help with absolutely everything. She doesn't have a car, so she needs to be driven everywhere. She needs help having everything built. She needs help with all the moving stuff. And guess who she asks for all of it? Yeah, you're right. My boyfriend. Coincidental? I think not. And it got to the point that they were hanging out and I didn't even know they were hanging out. He would get home and I'd be like, where were you? And he was like, I was with your sister. I was helping her do X, Y, Z. I was like, wait, what? What do you mean you were with my sister? Why didn't you tell me? And he's like, oh, I didn't think it was a big deal. She just needed a favor. And so I went to help out. Like, she lives in our building. No, okay? He was making it seem like it was innocent. It wasn't innocent. It gets to the point that this is the biggest issue in our relationship. We're constantly arguing about it where I'm like, I want you to stop spending so much time with my sister because you already know the previous issues that are there. And he was like, it's your family. I'm just trying to be a good guy. I'm like, okay, sorry, your loyalty is to me and I'm asking you to establish this boundary and you won't do it and it's weird. And we were just going back and forth for weeks about it. Finally, one day, my little sister comes to my apartment while my boyfriend and I are watching a movie and she just looks so upset. I'm like, what's wrong? Like, what is going on? And that's when she tells me that she is pregnant, which I'm shocked about because she just moved to the city. I didn't know she was dating anyone. The only guy that she's been hanging out with is my boyfriend. See, at the time I didn't put that together because I thought that there was no way that he would do that to me, but yeah, just wait. But the person who was even more shocked was my boyfriend. He looked like he was about to projectile vomit. I was like, wow, they obviously have gotten really close. He is really concerned about her. And that's when I start asking her, I was like, okay, who's the father? Whose baby are you having? And she gets really quiet. She's like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't really want to tell you. I was like, why are you being weird about this? And obviously we know why she was being weird about this. Then she starts looking at my boyfriend. She's like, I mean, like, are you going to tell her or am I? She fully came in here ready to expose him, and he had no idea. It was just all going down right there in my living room. So I look at him. He looks absolutely sick. I'm looking at her, and low-key, she's smirking a little bit. She's happy about this because, again, everything's a competition, and apparently she won. She took my man. That's what she wanted this whole time. And I look at him. I'm like, no, please tell me that she's lying. She's making this up. And he can't even get any words out. I can see it on his face that, yeah, it's him. He's the father of this baby. So I absolutely lose it. I'm like, what are you even talking about? And he has the audacity to say to me, well, I know I cheated, but I only half cheated because it's your sister. You shared DNA. So it's like, it's not as bad if I was cheating with someone else. It's like, it's half cheating. No, I'm sorry. What man logic is that? I cannot. It's way worse to cheat with somebody's sibling than with a stranger. So obviously I kick him out. I'm like, you have somewhere else to sleep in the exact same building. So don't even feel bad about it. I don't want to see your face ever again. I look at my sister. I'm like, I don't want to see your face ever again either. My ex-boyfriend is now texting me 24/7, apologizing, saying it was a mistake. It only happened once, which I don't believe based on how much time they spent together. And my family keeps texting me, it's your little sister. Give her grace. People make mistakes. So people make mistakes? That was not a mistake. That was a betrayal. Haven't heard anything from my little sister though. Not one text, not one apology, because she's not sorry. She very much planned for this to happen. I know it. And I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen next, but let me know if y'all want to stay updated.
So this is officially day 2 after finding out that my fiance cheated on me 3 months before our wedding. I just want to preface this by saying we did have our issues like when we first started dating in college, but we've been together for 6.5 years and he was such an amazing boyfriend. He did everything right. He did all the little things. He just loved me so well, and I think that he had me fooled so hard. And same with I think everyone else in my life. Like everyone just thought he was an amazing person. Like I was truly the happiest that I've ever been in my entire life 3 days ago. So I went through his phone and saw someone from college that I knew he was friends with. I know her. And they were talking about Plan B and how good it felt and pretty much just everything that you wouldn't want to read in your fiance's phone. Also found out that it was in my apartment, probably right here, or maybe in my bed. So yeah, this is definitely the worst thing that I've ever had to go through, and I'm gonna get through it because I am strong and I have God and I have my family and my friends that are so supportive. But if you followed me for travel ultrasound content or meal prepping, sorry, this is gonna be my self-love journey now because I have no choice.
Story time of how I found out 5 minutes ago that I have been cheated on. So I met this boy in Thailand like 3 months ago, and from the first day that we met, we traveled together every single day for 3 weeks. So like his entire trip, I was with him. And then at the end of it, he was going back to Perth, and he was like, oh, do you want to move to Perth with me? And I was like, okay, that's kind of crazy because I live in London, but I do have family in Sydney. So I was like, okay, it's not that weird. Like I'm Australian, so that's fine. Like, yeah, sure, I'll come to Perth with you. So I moved to Perth with him, and I'm living at his house for like 2 weeks, and like obviously everything's really good, like it was vibes. But he works in a job where he flies away and works 3 weeks like in the mines, and then he gets 1 week off. So I thought rather than me sitting in his house for 3 weeks and like waiting for him to come back, I would go visit my mum in Sydney. So I fly out to Sydney, and we are FaceTiming every single night, and he's like, oh, I really want to come visit you on my week off, so like I'm thinking of flying over to Sydney. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then, like, it was my birthday as well in that time frame, and, like, he sent flowers to my house and everything, which was really cute. And then he, like, came up with the idea. He's like, okay, rather than me coming to Sydney, why didn't I just fly us both to Bali and pay for, like, a Bali trip for both of us for your birthday, and so I can see you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, my God, that is, like, amazing. Like, that's so nice of you. Like, yeah, let's do it. So we went to Bali last week, and And everything was fine. Like, I had a really good time. And then, obviously, I said goodbye to him last Sunday. So, like, 9 days ago now. And then this time, like, he went straight to work after that. And then this time, like, he'd kind of been just, like, a little bit weird. Like, he's not been FaceTiming me every day. Like, he's been talking to me less. And I kind of messaged him today being like, oh, what's up? And he's like, oh, nothing. I've just had this thing on my mind that's really been stressing me out. Like, I'll FaceTime you tonight. And I was like, okay, cool. So he FaceTimes me and I was like, oh, what's up? And he's like, oh, like, it's literally nothing, but, like, I'm just paranoid that I have an STI. Like, ever since I've met him, he's just always been really paranoid about STIs. Like, but I've obviously been tested since sleeping with him and only him, because, like, we were exclusive. So I was like, oh, like, trying to, like, calm him down, like, calm down his hypochondriacness. I was like, oh, no, like, don't worry, like, I've not been sleeping with anyone else, you've not been sleeping with anyone else, so, like, you couldn't possibly have symptoms. No, sorry, you couldn't possibly have an STI because you would have shown symptoms already because we've been sleeping together for, like, 3 months. And he made, like, a face, and I was like, hold on, what the fuck's that face? And he was like, oh, nothing. And I was like, have you been sleeping with anyone else? And he was like, oh, no. And I was like, no, seriously, have you slept with anyone else? He was like, no. I asked him again, have you slept with anyone else? He said no. I asked him a 4th fucking time. And he was like, okay, yeah, I slept with someone else. And I was like, you're joking. And he's like, no, I'm not joking. And I'm like, no, fucking tell me you're joking. He wasn't joking. So I was like, you know that feeling when you find out information and you just shake, like that adrenaline. I was like, okay, when? He was like, before Bali. Because I was like, okay, maybe fair enough, like, you were out drinking in Bali, because I went to bed earlier than he did every single night because I crash early. So I was like, oh, fair enough if you were really drunk and, like, you slept with someone else, like, I mean, still not okay, but he slept with someone else before Bali. He was at home for 2 days before the Bali trip. So he went from work, flew into his hometown in Perth, was at his house for 2 nights, literally 1.5 days, and slept with someone else, sober. Like, he wasn't out drinking. So I'm thinking it was either his ex or it was this girl that he was seeing before me, or even if it wasn't one of those two, it doesn't fucking matter. He did this completely sober, knowing he was going to see me in Bali for a week for my birthday 2 days later. Are you fucking kidding me? And then the worst part of all of this is after I hung up the phone after I found this out. I was fucking fuming. Like, I was literally livid. Hung up the phone. He's not sent a message. He's not called me back. He's just gone to bed. This man has fucking gone to bed. I'm like, are you fucking serious? It's been an hour now. It's 1:21 a.m. in the morning. I'm fucking livid. I can't sleep now. I'm like, absolutely fuming. Also, one of his friends, the only other friend that I met in Perth that followed me, like his housemate, has unfollowed me, and it would have been in the last couple of days. So I'm like, okay, maybe he cheated on me and, like, it's been premeditated and he was going to end things anyway. Like, that's why he's being weird the past week. I was like, okay, that adds up. However, on this phone call tonight, 5 minutes prior to me, you know, discovering this cheating thing, he said that he was going to fly out to Sydney next week. I was like, yeah, I'm going to come out to Sydney and see you in a few days. I was like, what? Like, the fact that he was going to come to Sydney knowing he's cheated on me, like, what the fuck is wrong with this man's head? And I literally had to drag this information out of him. And the funniest thing is, the last week I've been saying, like, half as a joke, but half because I kind of knew something was off. I was like, you know what you've done? You know what you've done? You know how you sometimes do that? You're like, you know what you've done? Just, like, trying to, like, get any sort of secret out that isn't even there. I've been doing that. And he's like, why do you keep saying that? And I was like, I don't know, you know. And, like, I could tell, like, I don't know. I'm a fucking girl. We know. We have intuition. I could fucking tell something was up. And I was right. And, But anyways, I started off this video crying and I've ended it in rage again. I'm literally going in between rage and crying because I just don't know how to fucking feel. I want to lay it all out on this man. I want to have a big screaming match and then never speak to him again because I need to let out all my frustrations. But it's fine. I've already unfollowed him, and if he never speaks to me again, then God forbid, because never, ever trust a ginger, ladies and gentlemen.
Story time on how my ex-boyfriend cheated on me with his sister. Let's just get into it. So story starts and I'm dating this guy for like a year. We were the type of couple that was like, oh my god, like they're gonna last forever, like they're literally perfect. So he has a sister and she's like half a year younger than him. It's like not that crazy of an age difference, it's really close. So we all went to the same school and literally she hated me for no reason. Like her whole family loved me but her. First couple of months of us dating, like it was never like weird. I never had any suspicion. He was actually quite literally rude to his sister, so like I wouldn't ever think anything of it. I mean, no one really does that, so it's, yeah. Anyways, this girl hated me for literally no reason, hated my guts, and talked bad about me around the whole entire school. But you know what? I let it slide because I loved his family, and we were together, and I was like, why would I let your little sister stop me from dating you, I'm not gonna let that break us up. Anyways, that should have been my first red flag because he would tell me that I'm insane and I need to get over it. But yeah, that was really weird. Plus my friends thought it was really weird, especially how he didn't really do anything. He just let it happen. So yeah, I should have took that as my first red flag because that's insane. You're not gonna do anything when your sister is bashing you around the whole entire school and to everybody. As time went on, like I would come over to their house and he was always like kind of weird with his sister. With his sister or not, he'd always make like really weird remarks about like how she looked and her body looked. It low-key kind of brushed me off like really weird, but I was like, okay, like that's his sister, like nothing weird like that, because who would think that you're banging your little sister? Not me. So one day I was planning on going to my friend's house and I told him, and he was like kind of being really weird about it. He was also just like a really controlling person. Like he would never let me hang out with my friends or anything or even go out. So I was just like, whatever. I didn't think much of it. We end up arguing and then I finally get to go because like he gets to go anywhere whenever he wants. So it's not really fair. So I was just hanging out with my friend in her bed and my boyfriend was just acting really weird. A weird that he's never acted before. Like he's like ghosting me and not talking to me. Just really weird. Something he never did before. It made me feel so weird. So in his neighborhood, there's like a park. And mind you, this was like 10 o'clock at night. So his location is set at the park for like 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay, like whatever. He's probably just hanging out at the park. It just made me feel really weird because he was acting really weird. And it's just like, why are you acting like that? So after like 30 minutes, he was still at the park for like an hour. So he completely ghosted me. And I was like, you know what? Why don't we just walk to the park? So that's exactly what I did. Me and my friend walked to the park without him knowing, and I turned off my location. So we get to the park, and mind you, like, you couldn't be able to see us. Like, he wouldn't have been able to see us. It was so dark. So I was like, this is, like, low-key perfect. Like, what if I catch him doing something? Like, I didn't want to, but, like, I was like, you know what, for the plot. So as we get closer to the park, I hear talking, and, yeah. And it's a girl, so I look at my friend like, oh, heck. Soda, we get quiet and creep up on them. As I get close enough to see them, I see his sister and him. I see them doing something crazy that you should never do with your sister. You guys can kind of pick up what I'm putting down. So as soon as I see them, I immediately yelled out like, oh my god, and they immediately turned their head. And when I tell you, they were shaking. I can't even like tell you what I said. I was just like so disgusted. I was like, that's your sister. And he was saying the usual, like, it's not what you think, I promise, like, I can explain. His sister's just over there, like, shaking in her boots. I was just literally so disgusted, and I was like, oh, hell no, like, we're leaving right now. Because what does one do in that situation when you see your boyfriend doing a squirrel dance on his sister? Like, immediately broke up with him, and then after that, for months, he's told people that I cheated on him. Low-key didn't tell people that he did the renegade on his sister because, like, that's crazy and I'm not that bad of a person, but you want to see that I cheated on him. Anyways, guys, that's my lore. So